Hi guys, I'm Rod Haydel with Haydel's Game Calls. You know, over the last couple of years, there's been a surgence in these cut down style calls. And last year we came out with one called, we call it the keyless cut down. It's the model number KC13. Dustin Haggard here has been real instrumental in designing this call with us. And I wanted to talk about the mechanics for the new guy out there on how to blow this particular call. So Dustin, I mean, if you can offer some suggestions and tips on how to get these guys started.
Absolutely. Yeah, this call is going to blow different than any other call that you've ever blown, other than the old cut down D2 olds. And some of the a lot of companies now are mimicking that old cut down D2, same call with a different name on it. And the sound that used to be the reason they cut the old cut downs down is to keep a call in the range of a mallard hen, not get a high pitched sound, but get it as loud as you could possibly get it and still stay in that range. And that's what this call mimics. But what we want to do is go through and really try to tell somebody how to blow the thing. You know, it's not, even for the guy that's never blown a call before, he can pick this call up and blow it. It's going to be the way we used to always teach people how to blow the bud or little short syllable words into the call. This call is going to be different. It's going to be a full, I say quack. I actually say whack or quack into the call, a full word. And this call, you're really going to use your hand. You know, the old calls, it would just be, and it's not, you're not getting a full reed movement with it. This one's going to be a full, I'm saying quack into the call. Every note is a separate quack.
And you're using your hand every quack to kind of
every single quack. That's right. You know, the other calls, the double reeds, the DRD5, stuff like that, real easy to blow. It's a different sound. You don't have to move your hand. You can leave your mouth in the same place. You can have as much fun with this one as you want to, be as aggressive as you want, and it's just going to make it sound better. So with the quacks, we're going to say a full quack into the call and really accentuate the hand movement. Start out with your hand closed, and we want it wide open when we get done. But as soon as that note gets done, right straight back closed. Okay. And it's really, you know, a lot of guys, you see them moving their head around and stuff like that. The more you accentuate into this call, the better it's going to sound. So it's just going to be, and you can go on from there with it. The key is we don't want to get wild and get 20 note hail calls out of it, because we want to sound as natural as we can. So 5 notes, 3 notes. I usually start out, I'll hit them real hard with a 5, 6, 7 note, and then I'll just try to sound like as many different mallard hens as I can. So it's going to be like this. It's going to be, I start out with a feed call. It'll be, and then go on with just with a, hey, you know, you're telling the ducks to come to you instead of asking them with a softer sounding call. You know, so it's going to be, and then once you get that going, it's going to be a bunch of little different 3 and 5 note cadences. So it'll be like, and if it locks up on you, it's no big deal. You know, it's still gonna sound natural, and it's gonna sound like that aggressive mallard hen sitting there.
Right.
So, but with the feed call in this call, it's not gonna be that rolling, unnatural feed sound. You know, all you want to do is just sound like a bunch of mallards sitting in the woods, or just a few that are just content down there. But it's still gonna be real aggressive. Instead of the digga or tuka like everybody learned how to do, this one's gonna be like tick tock, as hard as you can. Get your tongue moving into this call, the better it's going to sound. So it's not hard to blow. It's just a different style of blowing.
It's more staccato.
It's a staccato. You know, it's an aggressive, real shrill, piercing, harsh note is what you're looking for. And it's just going to be just like this. Instead of the regular feed call, you know, the rolling call, it's like. You just want to sound just the little short, clucking, clicking notes that are real staccato, harsh sounding. That's what you're looking for out of this call. It's imitating the old sound that everybody was cutting the old call, the D2s down and stuff like that for. It's just a heck of a lot easier to blow and doesn't take half the air.
Okay. So when you're attacking that note, you're trying to move a larger volume of air than you normally do.
Absolutely.
Through a shorter time.
I'm using the same amount of air for each note that I would use on maybe 6 or 7 notes on an Arkansas J-frame call. Okay. It's just, but with the open bore on this call, it's easy to get it through there. You know, it's not, the key is don't hold back on your breath. You know, I mean, really get your tongue moving, and you really want to, you know, use hand movement. And the more air you can get through it, you're pretty much not going to lock this call up. The J-frames and the smaller barrel double reeds, I lock them up every time I blow them. And it's just because I blow with a lot of air because I'm used to this style of call. But a guy that's been blowing the double recalls or has never picked up a call doesn't need to be afraid on how much air he puts in it. He's pretty much not going to lock this call up.
And again, he's probably going to realize that this call is unlike anything else he's ever blown.
Absolutely.
And he might not even like it at all at first.
He may not like it at first. You know, what I do a lot of times, I record myself blowing a call. And I try to get a call that sounds as natural as I possibly can get it. You know, I mean, there's days occasionally there's days you want to have a call that's screaming high notes, but with as many people hunting as there is now, and as many guys that are blowing the acrylic calls and the the little bit louder duck calls than we always used to blow, you want the most natural sound you can get. But with this call, you're not giving up that aggressiveness and that ability to get loud. And as long as you stay in the normal tone of a mallard hen, you're still going to be okay. And this call is what's going to do it.
Okay. Well, for the guy that's just starting out, picking this call up, again, let's go through some critical points.
Yeah.
You throw your hand.
Absolutely. Yeah, the hand movement is real key with this style call. You're going to start out with your hand, in a C shape like you would any other call. I start out with my hand closed. Okay. And what that does is it helps the guy that doesn't have a whole lot of air. It helps him build that back pressure up. Once you start blowing into the call, and you're not going to hold that word out for a long time, you're going to say that word or push that air from your diaphragm as quick as you can. You're not holding back. You're not whack. It's just a hard, quick burst of air barking at through the call. Really is what they call it. And it's the harder and harsher you bark into the call, the more crisp, piercing sound you're going to get out of it, and that's what you want.
Are you doing anything with your throat, Dustin?
I don't really, on this style of call, I don't really ever move my throat. With the J-frame calls and stuff, it's a lot of throat movement, and you're really controlling the call with your tongue and all. With this call, you're blasting air through it each note, and you're using your hand to really, inflect that different tones and different stuff. You can turn your head and all that stuff, but where you're getting the different sound and the real natural sound. A mallard hen, when she's quacking, she closes her bill. She'll close her bill, and if you ever watch one, she'll open and close and open and close, and that's what you're getting that full quacking sound out of it. It's the way this call blows. If they'll just pick the call up and accentuate each note and get them a good quack, that good sound, they'll see what kind of sound you can get out of it, and they can run off with it then.
Okay.
So
I know a lot of times when I'm blowing, say, a standard double reed, one of our other calls, and I want to really get aggressive sound of them, I got a lot of jaw action.
Absolutely.
And that seems to help accentuate the notes as well as your hand as well.
Absolutely. It will. You can do that on this call too. I do it. I mean, we all, a lot of times, you hear the guys grunting through the calls and stuff. Doesn't hurt this one at all. That's fine to do. The more you accentuate each note, be it with your jaw and your hand, or a lot of guys really kind of, you'll see them leaned over. Them all guys, you kick the water and lean over. But it's mainly you want to don't withhold any air from the call. Open your throat up. With the DR85 and stuff, you can get a big breath and get 30 notes out of it. By closing your throat off. This one's totally different. Open your throat on up. Use your mouth and really accentuate each note, and try to get that natural, aggressive, harsh sound out of it.
All right, very good.
Let's go through it one more time. It's just, you're gonna pick the call up just like any other Haydel's call. Each note is gonna be, I pretty much take a separate breath for each note. Breathe through my nose and blow out through my mouth. So it's gonna be just like this. If you turn around backwards, it's gonna be, and each note is a separate full mouth movement, hand movement, and diaphragm movement. But it's real natural feeling when you start doing it. It's just, and then once you get going with a sound, you can just be as aggressive as you want to with it. So I do the feed call, and I always pick it up because, number one, I make sure my call's not froze up, if it's real cold or something. But it makes it where I know I've got the right sound. And then once you've got the right sound, that range, you can run off with it and do all the sounds you want to. But it's going to be, and it's just going to be a different sound than most of these people are used to hearing. Most of the guys, especially ones that are just picking up the call, but it's gonna be a real aggressive sound. They're gonna love it when they use it.
Okay, well, great. Sounds like it's lunch next door, so let's wind this thing up.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys. We'll see you down in the field.